Here's my vinyl collection, which would make actual collectors cringe because, number one, they're not in alphabetical order, though they used to be in previous places that I lived. I just haven't gotten to it here. And they're not in the best of condition, though I can still play them on my record player. I like vinyl. I'd like to organize them better. High fidelity is really inspiring. I mean, if I could do something like that with my books, music, and all that sort of thing, that'd be awesome. Okay, I got... I'm a big girl, but so of course I would have an extensive VHS exercise video collection, and then some CDs, some DVDs, but for the most part. And I have an exercise log. Oops, I have an exercise log. Oh, Crunch Fat Blaster Goes Latin is actually really cool. It's really good. Anyway, and yes, Richard Simmons, don't knock him. He works if you use him. You know, if you use the videos, any exercise is gonna help you. And he's actually pretty good, and he's motivated. He's different, but he is motivational. And if you're exercising with him, you do feel like he cares. I know it's a part of why he makes so much money, but it's true, it really works. This is my very sad exercise record that has been going back to, you know, 2002. So I'm very honest with it and write down exactly when I'm exercising, only with the videos. I don't count walking and biking or anything. Tolkien. Okay. I know the movies. I don't have the movies on DVD, actually, and I'd love to get the special Lord of the Rings. I thought they were great. But I read Lord of the Rings for the first time when I was in grade 6. I was 11, 12 years old. And it was my mother's copy. I read it after I read her copy of The Hobbit, and then her paperback Lord of the Rings kind of got really worn out by me reading it in the hallways. But I've loved Tolkien ever since. So I have a bit of him, you know, with this stuff, and then I was given this copy of Lord of the Rings with Alan Lee illustrations. They're beautiful, for my 16th birthday from my father. And then Harry Potter. I got into Harry Potter, yes. I enjoyed the series immensely. Yeah, and I will tell you that I am pleased with the ending, because my poetry shelf, okay, here we go. This needs to be larger because I want to have more and more books of poetry. You have everything from this that I was given as a gift from someone I've lost contact with, to Maya Angelou, to Reagan Butcher. Oh my gosh. You know what? You know what I thought? I actually thought this while reading Jack Kerouac. I thought, if only the guy had read Reagan Butcher, then he'd have read some poetry. Oh, I probably pissed off some Jack Kerouac fans. But I'm telling you, reading this stuff was more raw and real and that than reading the other, okay? And that's how I feel about that. If you've never heard of him, look him up. I'm telling you, it's worth it. And then, of course, Leonard Cohen, okay? And Billy Corgan. I read it, but I don't remember it staying really relevant. E. Cummings, I made fun of him after I read it, but I still love his stuff. Emily Dickinson, take me forever to read the complete poems. I was given this as a gift from Gwen. You can't even see what I'm pointing at. Coke Machine Glow, Gordon Downey's poetry. I loved it. And he's the lead singer for the Tragically Hip, a Canadian band that has done very well. Bob Dylan's Tarantula. Now this could be another book that could isolate the reader because if they're not familiar with the time or from the time. But man, he still made sense. He makes sense. He makes sense. He makes sense. T.S. Eliot, Ian Forster, Acquainted with the Night is one of my favorite poems. I was a midnight shift worker originally when I started at the factory, and for many years I related as a day sleeper, and the night still feels, I'm not afraid of the night. I'm not afraid of the nighttime. And then here's a collection. I've been so fortunate to receive these. Look at the name. Can you see it? Andreas Grip. Look him up. He's one of the best contemporary poets that's not well known that I know of. Like, I can't sing his praises enough. I recommend his poetry. He's Canadian, and I'm surprised he's not famous. But poets have a hard go of it, you know. Langston Hughes. Yes, I did read the entire collection, and I was, you know, there's simplicity in it, but yet such brilliance. And I'm not saying that for any reason except that I was in awe of him. Jack Kerouac, I put it on my poetry shelf because his prose reads like poetry. Now this is poetry to me. On the Road, The Dharma Bums, The Subterraneans. This is what I liked. I just, maybe I read the wrong poetry collection, and that's all. Jewel Kilcher. Yes, yes. She was, you know, the singer. You want to know what? I don't care what you say. Her poems were lovely. Some of them were just brilliant. Jim Morrison. Yeah, again, loved it. Handwriting. Now, there's a poem in this that is in its own book, the story, and I recommend it. Dorothy Parker. Oh my gosh, she was also brilliant, and she rhymed, but amazing people have come before and written, and some were, you know, recognized for what they'd done, and others weren't. Adrienne Rich, I've really gotten into her. In fact, a few books were supposed to be on the way to me. It's continuing. Like, I just really am amazed by her. Robert Service, because of my father, he got me into him, and everybody, at least in my Canadian-wise, has, you know, Sam McGee and all that sort of thing. Well, I do enjoy Robert Service. This book, I'm going to tell you, don't bother. Tupac Shakur. Amazing rap artist, wrote amazing rap, but I'm wondering if The Rose That Grew From Concrete was more of his family trying to get more money from what happened. I don't know if he would have wanted those poems to see the light of day. Like, I'm telling you, I don't exactly want my poems written at the age of 11 shared, not even poems written more recently. So I wasn't too impressed with this. There were a few things that caught me, but for the most part, I was thinking, what a shame that it was published. And that's no blight on, I just felt, I wish I hadn't got it. Yes, I read the complete poems of Whitman. Leaves of Grass, come on now. Oscar Wilde, he's still waiting for me. Yeats, the Griffin Prize anthologies. These are not only Canadian, but worldwide poets, the best of when they're considering the prize. And I've read them not just to read poetry, but because I'm interested in someday putting together poetry. And it's good to read and see what's being read. And